Hello and welcome to History 2010. This is the internet section for the spring 2026, and this is going to apply to multiple sections for this semester. I'm the instructor for the class. My name is Dr. James McDonald, and what we're going to do in this short introductory video is kind of treat it as if you were all in class and we were going over the syllabus and the Moodle shell, tell you a little bit about the course expectations, the assignments, the textbook, and everything you'll need to know for the class going forward. We have the statement of AI or artificial intelligence. This is going to apply to your discussions that are due in the course of the semester, and specifically that we do not want you to use AI. We want you to answer, and these are writing assignments in your own words. And this is in line with the university policy, if you do use AI, you can fail the assignment. So I know it's a shortcut. I know once upon a time we were only worried about basically having folks copy and paste for their um, writing, but this is a little bit different with the introduction and the flourishing now of artificial intelligence. So the short of it is answering your own words. So that's right there at the very top of the Moodle shell. Okay, I'm going to look at the syllabus and then orient you into the Moodle shell as to how to negotiate the assignments and the exams. This link here, the e-book administration, should take you right to our textbook, and that is the Dr. Shai and others who have written the text we've been using for quite a while. So this is obviously an ebook. You're going to be reading the first half of the book, and all of you have been loaded in here as part of a student set. So you should be able to access it that way. The course syllabus here as well, I'll open that up in a minute. You've also got the university policies that you can click on that has to do with everything that we update and the useful hyperlinks that you might need in the course of the semester. The discussion board rubric is here as well. I'll mention that as we talk in some detail about the assignments. The class, and now we're going to go to the Word document, which is the syllabus, which will be here the whole semester. I have a very basic syllabus. I don't like to overdo it with the amount of information that's in there. So it's just the basics. My name is there. I'm on the NSU campus in Kaiser Hall, but I'm guessing most of you are going to want to connect with me through email. My email is there. Make sure you spell it correctly. My name is MAC, MacDonald J. So you can see that right there. I'm going to ask that you put your section number in all of the different courses that you correspond with me and all your other professors. They really appreciate it. I'm teaching, let's see, 4 different sections of 2010, which is the first half of U.S. history. So there's several online, there's one face-to-face. So simply saying you're in my history class or you're in my history 2010 class isn't enough. So if the email gets kicked back from me telling me what class and section, I don't really have the time nor the interest in finding what role you are on with just a vague email. So you can use the subject line, which no one uses, right? Of the email. When you write an email, no one uses the subject line. So you can use the subject line and put your section number, section 2, section 3, dual enrollment, A term, whatever. So there's that kind of rule to follow. If your email doesn't get answered, it might be because you didn't follow that email rule. So please do that. Don't be lazy about it. If you want to communicate and you're asking your professor something, go the extra mile of putting your class and section number in the email. Very simple to do. We are reviewing the syllabus. If you go forward and stay in this class, this is like a contract in my mind. You're going to fulfill the obligations of the class and the class requirements. If you don't do that, and that goes along with due dates, that goes along with the criteria for taking the exams on time, that goes along with the discussions, all of that is laid out carefully here. If you don't abide by those things, well, you're probably not going to do well in the class. But I will tell you, this class is designed for you to succeed. It's designed for non-history majors. It's very straightforward as far as the assignments go. So there's the book and the link I showed you in Moodle. Just click on the link, it'll take you to the ebook and you can read the chapters, because the exams come from a study guide that's put together from the different readings. So we're going to be reading about the history of the United States even before it was the United States. So there's a lot of America before the Europeans sailed, the obviously importance of the indigenous people, Native Americans, who were in the Americas, plural, North, Central, and South America. The movement of 10 to 12 million Africans in the Atlantic slave trade. All of that's the precursor leading up to the creation of the different European colonies. And then, of course, the creation of the United States. And we go all the way through the Civil War. So it's fairly quickly moving, but the reading is kept to a manageable amount. And you need to do the reading, so you need to make sure you get into the textbook. We have 4 exams, and they account for 75% of your grade. So what I'm going to do is drop the lowest exam minus the final. You have to take the final again. So that's kind of one of those things. If your last grade is your lowest grade, if you're exam 4, I maybe shouldn't call it a final. I should call it exam 4. But of all those 4 exams, we're going to drop your lowest. So it's your 3 best test grades, and that accounts for 75%. And then the rest of your grade for the class comes from the discussions, and the discussions are each worth 25 points, and 4 25s are 100. Again, I didn't major in math, so I'm keeping it as straightforward as possible. But I will tell you this about the discussions. They're due on Friday by the end of the day. I'm not a super stickler for detail. 5 o'clock, 6:30, by Friday. Every day, this is an internet class, so a weekend counts as a day. Every day that they're late, they're going to be penalized. And after the 4th day, they're not going to be accepted. I'm just going to tell you outright, and this is just one of those friendly kind of, hey, we're starting the semester, let's get you all started the right way. Some folks take the exams and then they don't do the discussions. And then you have this reckoning at the end of the semester, and you're like, oh no, my class grade is going to go down like 2 letter grades, which it does if you don't do any discussions. And I'm going to try to desperately turn them in, and I won't accept them. This is not kind of a free-for-all for the discussions. They're due when they are due. The dates for that will be listed on the syllabus and in Moodle as well. The exams are 50 multiple choice questions. You will have an hour to complete them, and they come from the study guides that are placed on Moodle ahead of the exam. So you'll be working on the study guide. Use it as you're reading. You don't have to turn it in back to me. You just have to, complete it for your own use. So there are 50 study guide questions and there are 50 exam questions. So you can probably very quickly figure out that as you read, make sure you're familiar with the questions asked in the study guide, and then take the exam. The exams are not proctored. They are timed. They are scrambled as far as the test question order, the test answer order. So you'll have ample amount of time to do it, and they're open from Friday to Sunday, with the exception of the final, or the last exam. I call it the final exam, but it's basically exam 4. It's not like it's a comprehensive exam that takes in all of the information from the whole semester. I keep regular internet hours on the days listed on the syllabus, usually in the mornings before I teach my 11 o'clock class. If you email over the weekend, it's going to be iffy if you get a response. I'll try to address it as quickly as possible. And I'll say one more time, please put the course and the section number. So the course isn't enough. The section number means section 2, 3, dual enrollment, A term, whatever the case may be. As I said, the syllabus is very simple. Here's your schedule of what you need to do. You're reading, starting slowly. Week 2, you've got the first discussion. And the discussions are either a primary source document. Sometimes what I like to do is have it like a document read, historical document read, and I go to the internets and I put that up there on Moodle and then have you respond to it. So it's a forum question and answer discussion. 150 words, written clearly. You all need to take a minute and click on that rubric, which is kind of like, hey, do this and you'll do great. Hey, treat it like a glorified text message with no capitals, punctuation, and spelling errors, and you won't do as well. But believe me, if you do this well, the discussions for them, and you don't use AI, and you don't use the internet, so you answer in a very simple manner, in your own words, you'll do well, and it will help your grade if your exam average isn't, where you want it to be. It can really pull you up because it's a quarter of your grade. So there is the whole schedule for the class. Now we'll go back to the Moodle shell, and this is where you complete the assignments. So this is the intro block, exam, requirements as far as the syllabus and the discussions, and then we get into the actual, for some reason, it only pulled up the first week. So we'll look at week 1. Here we go. It's a good way to do it also. If you noticed, everybody, Moodle's kind of updated. For better or worse. It'll take you all a minute to learn it, and us as well as your instructors. Okay, so the syllabus said you've got to read chapter 1, and there it is. You can go to the textbook and read it. There's a study guide, and you click on that, and essentially that will be and open a Word document. And this will be your Word document for the first exam, which covers the first 3 chapters of the book. So we'll go back and get out of that. Where did that go? There we go. Here's an outline for the textbook if you think that's something you can use. It's a PDF file. I linked them all for every single chapter. And here is your assignment for the first discussion. So this is one of those crash course videos. So this will link you to YouTube. And I'd also like you to complete a pre-class survey. Don't worry about, it's not going to be graded. It's not like, oh, this is going to be part of how I do in the course. We just do this for the university assessment. And then there'll be a post-class survey as well. And so we keep track of that. All right, so that's week 1. Week 2. All right, you've got another reading to do. There's chapter 2. There's chapter 2 outline. You've already got the study guide for the first exam. So that's in week 1. And here essentially is, let me see what we've got back here. Okay, let me correct this. This is actually just a short video from the textbook that kind of introduces that first chapter. So I got that confused a little bit. So let's go back and go to week 2. Here we go. Okay, this is the crash course video. This is on the Black Legend. You need to watch 12, 13 minutes maybe. And then you click on this, and you can click here or here to add a discussion topic. And that will literally bring you to where you can answer the forum. And that's the question for the forum. If we were to skip very quickly as we wind down, there's week 3. There's the outline for chapter 3. And then you get into week 4, and you've got the exam. So the exam's open from Friday morning until Sunday evening. You need to take it during that time. No makeups, no, oops, I missed the exam. I mean, you have to take it in basically a 3-day period. And then when you go to week 5, obviously you're going to start with a new unit of the class, right? You've got a new study guide because you're going to be doing readings for exam 2. So there's your new study guide. There's your outline. And for the most part, it's very, very straightforward. I'm going to go back to the class welcome. And just remind you that if you have any questions and concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me. My name is Dr. McDonald, and I hope you enjoy the semester. Hope you learned something. And once again, have a great spring 2026.